Well, here I am again with another show and tell style video of some things I found yesterday. As of recording this video, it's now, yesterday. And these are some finds in my neighborhood. I decided to poke around and have found some new places to find things. So I guess I'll just get right to it and not waste any time. So I guess I'll start off with this since I just spontaneously picked it up. Let's show this. Haven't quite figured out, haven't looked this up yet, but there the name is. And this is just basically a big tile. Looks like a tile of some sort. And yeah, it's kind of interesting. It's only one in my collection. First time I've seen one of these. It's from Los Angeles. Bachelor, Los Angeles. Guess I'll have to look this up. But yeah, there's just a rather large tile. If we just get this over here, so people can kind of get a size of it. It's almost 4 inches. It's about 4 inches. Just shy of 4 inches. But of course now I can just get to this point. It's over 4 and you go from this side to this corner to that corner. So I guess random tile in my finds in my neighborhood. Guess I'm gonna have to start picking through this area more because for some reason never thought to go there, and I went there out of random curiosity today, and now here I am showing the things I found. Now, I did find a random diamond brick, but I'm not gonna really show that because it's not really relevant. Because who hasn't seen a diamond brick? Get some of this miscellaneous stuff out of the way. Just a random like glass cap or lid. Not entirely sure what this is. But I went ahead and picked it up because, this just in the moment of being in a new spot, I typically just grab whatever looks like it's salvageable or interesting. But needless to say, it's just some sort of glass cap. So, and then I found what appears to be an old Smirnoff bottle, because this is mostly a bottle show than anything, but I just have some other miscellaneous things in the mix. And this has a cool embossing. When I found it, was just sticking out of the ground like this. All I saw was this part and like maybe a few inches of it. So imagine my hands to the ground and it's like sticking out of the ground like that. And it's like, oh, it's another alcohol bottle. But now that I've seen it, I gotta see what it is. I'm probably not going to keep it, but I still want to see it. But then as I pulled it out, I noticed it had this cool, like, I guess it's a crown embossing on it. And after I got it home and cleaned it, I found out it's Smirnoff on it. It's got the old Smirnoff logo on it. So that was cool. So now I got this in my collection of alcohol bottles. It has the original lid, which came out rather immaculate. You can see it's in really good shape. For being stuck in the ground for who knows how long. I'm not even sure how old this bottle is. But obviously looking at it, I can tell it's definitely a vintage Smirnoff bottle. It's got the cool embossing on it. I just realized it has something in here as well. Yeah, good luck reading that. I guess it has stuff around this little banner here as well, but I don't think it's legible at all. It's probably just there for design, completeness sake of the embossing. I don't think they ever intended for anyone to actually read that. That's really silly and small and weird. Now maybe this part you could read, but all that aside. So yeah, there's just that. See if I can get any more on this. Maybe it's from 70? I don't know. I'm sure somewhere on here this deciphers its date. So there's just that Smirnoff bottle. And I found this one out there as well also, clearly, since I'm showing it. But this is the bottle that maybe when you go back out later again tonight, because I went out there earlier in the daytime, poked around, found these few things, and then that leads up to what I'm going to show off over here. But this bottle, I kept looking at it and maybe want to go back out and find more, because it has the seams that go up and stop at the neck here. They kind of fade out. I need to clean the bottle better, but they go up here and fade. So this is a pretty old bottle, naturally, I guess I would say at that point. And I did try to look this up, and I couldn't find one with this oval and an eye. So I don't know. This one's got to be older than the ones I've seen online. And it's a brick. I guess it's some kind of hair shampoo, possibly. An old vintage, antique shampoo bottle. Sorry for background noise if the camera's picking that up, or the phone's picking that up. But this, when I see old embossing company logos like that, I really start wanting to go back to those spots and try to find more, because usually this is an indication to me that there's older bottles in that area. Because I still have yet to even find one of these logos in the South Oak Park area. Because those, I think all those bottles, honestly, with very, very few exceptions, have been mostly around 1950s. You know, somewhere in the 40s up to the 50s. But yeah, I still have not seen any of these logos out there. So yeah, this bottle got me back out there, and then I got distracted and found another spot, and thankfully I did, because I found a lot more stuff. So thanks to this little bottle, it's gonna lead up to what I'm about to show after this one. Just a real simple bottle. But yeah, I just like seeing these old logos on them, because it indicates they're for sure on the older side, at least. I keep finding these in this neighborhood where I live. Older bottles like this, sprinkled in the weirdest places. So there's that. And just randomly, I was going to point this one out since it's still up here. I found out that this bottle here dates about roughly 1930, and it is a horse medicine. So yeah, I guess this was a horse medicine bottle. So I guess I did kind of find my old amber bottle out there, but I found one for horses instead of humans, because this is a nice thick old amber bottle as well, and that's dates. When I looked up this bottle, it seems to be around 1930s roughly era. Basically, I guess 20s to 30s with this style lid, which it still has the lid in really good shape. And I did find out that this threads on the here too, because the mouth, they're pretty much the same style. So that would indicate they are probably around the same time period. I mean, at face value, I guess, since these threads and nick pieces are pretty much identical ish. Enough. So enough of that random distraction. Now on to the newer, smaller collection of bottles that I have found in the neighborhood I live in. Guess I'll just start grabbing them. Found this little one here. These have all basically cleaned up pretty nicely because there's not any tin in the spot where I was digging these ones out. Because how I found these ones, I should probably start from the beginning. I was walking back to this spot where I found this bottle, roughly the area where I found this bottle, to try to comb around for more stuff, surface finds, etc. Then I detoured off by a water runway. I went off into the woods, down towards the creek, Rock Creek, from the neighborhood. And then I started finding these sticking out of the ground, sort of ish. And then I started digging, and I started finding more. So it's kind of like my own little South Oak Park area out here, just not as extensive. Guess time will tell if I do more videos of this area of bottles. But I found this little one. It had a lid on it. I broke it off. It wasn't worth saving. I didn't really clean this one super thoroughly. I should have went in the kitchen and got the little wire brush in there and did more cleaning, which I didn't. But let's see what this embossing says. It looks like a square and an N, 68 and 5. So really, that is pretty much all there is to see with this one. And just go ahead and get this out of the way because I found another one of these. These bottles got around. I thought that was a crack there for a second, but that's just some sort of line in the glass where something got in there and left a line in it, like it was sitting like this. Oh well, that doesn't want to show. Oh well, it's not a crack. But yeah, found another one of these. These are building up my collection quite nicely. I'd like to start finding things I don't have, but I can't complain. Actually, who knows, that might be a crack. Let me see. Yeah, well, that is a crack on the lip right here. Oh well, that should be fine. It's not going to hurt anything. It's not like I'm reusing this one for anything besides adding it to the collection to look at. And we've seen enough of these for those who've watched any of these. I mean, I've shown enough of them anyways. So no sense in really spending too much time on that. And I did find this little blue boy here. The only one in my collection with this particular design, this mold design. There's a little bit of rust in the spot, but it's not tin, I don't think. It's just other spots. I haven't quite deduced yet if this spot is a dump spot or just stuff washed there from old happenings of the neighborhood, from like old residents of the neighborhood or something, but I'm leaning towards it's a smaller dump spot. Just because of the nature of how, I'm finding stuff as I'm digging. I did tragically find at least one or two older blue mason jars which were broken. Those ones are more sought after, but it is what it is. And this one is a Noxzema. It's not a Vicks Vapor Rub. So now I got two of these in my collection. Two different styles anyways. There you have that one. Really would like to make this video not last 2 hours, so let's try to get on with it. And I found this oddball one. All it says is National around the top piece. Got this interesting coarse texture to it. See, the camera can pick it up. Yeah. I think I found several of these out there, but they had all I found was the broken top nick pieces. So it's kind of cool because this is the only one in my collection now. It just says national. I'm pretty sure that's what that says. It's hard to read it, but that's what I deduced it as, is national. It's just all the way around. Sorry for being so like spunky with these bottles. The light would stop. My camera would adjust the light properly. That'd be nice. At least when I'm looking at the phone screen, it looks like it dims down and it's hard to see through the phone screen. It's not as dramatic through the actual video, but I notice it a lot as I'm staring at the screen. Wasn't too much to work with on this one. Just the Owen, Illinois glass company with the coding system on the bottom. The plant was made at the location and the date somehow this coat decoded in there somewhere. Looks like a 12. There's a 12, 9, 4 with 2 dots. So for anyone that's glass savvy, if they ever do come by this, there you go. You can have at it. And it just says bottle not refundable or returnable. My apologies. It just says it mirrored on the other side also. So bottle not returnable. Bottle not returnable. So I'm not entirely sure what this bottle is. And just because I decided to leave this one with the lid on there, just because I've made points in prior videos how wasted these lids get, and hence why I don't bother salvaging or trying to save many of them, because it's just, well, as you can see, doesn't, yeah, you're not saving that. No, I mean, the only way you're getting this off is breaking it. It's so corroded and wasted. But this is that aside, it's a cool little bottle. Whatever the original contents are, I don't know if that's what that is or just stuff seeped in there over time, sitting in the ground. But this is a I like this glass. This glass is very come out very nice. I say that because I have 2 of these, and the other one has no lid, and it cleaned up really nice. So I know by example that this glass is cool. This isn't showing it too much, but I'll show the second one after this. I mean, even with all this crap in it, it still looks nice on the outside. There's nothing really on the bottom here besides that. A 1 with that embossing. And 1192. So either some sort of pharmacy thing and or just handmade bottle. Apologies for not knowing what that is. I guess when I tried searching up this embossing, I probably didn't type it in right because I didn't even know how to go about looking up that particular embossing. So it's no fault of my own for not actually finding a solid answer on that. So there's that one. Let's go to the clean one. You can see what I mean by how nice this glass is, with the exception of this little bit in there. Just a nice, really nice clear glass. These bottles do come out nicer when they're not surrounded by a bunch of tin. Besides the few little stains in there, I'll probably address those more thoroughly later. But yeah, this is a really nice clear glass. I don't even think we make glass this nice today. I mean, you know what they say, they don't make them like they used to. And that's a damn fact. Everything's gotten cheaper and more mass produced and machine made, and it's all just loads of crap. Just less human interaction with stuff these days. I mean, what do you think's going to happen? The quality's obviously not going to be there. But yet, we're to think we are somehow more advanced and sophisticated than the prior generations, which I just don't see it. I mean, you can't use that excuse just because we have phones and computers and cars like we do today. That's because that stuff was allowed to go forward and progress while other things weren't. Cherry pick it how you want, but that's pretty much just the facts on that. Other things got stunted and held back, and then other things went forward. Obviously, the architect, the building designs, art, the old world buildings, etc. They stopped doing all that, and then made, crap wood boxes, steel and glass, and yada yada. Depressing, dystopic, brutalist architecture. There you go. So yeah, again, don't make it like they used to. Some things went forward and other things just halted and went backwards. There's no way around it. So yeah, we'll get done with this one. I started rambling. Apologies. I wonder if this says the same thing. 1129. They both have a 1. They look like they have that embossing with a K in them. These must have been purchased at the exact same time then. Okay. Let's show this. And this is an antiseptic bottle. Oh no, I spoiled it. This is on one of my collections, so of course I was going to keep this one when I found it. This one cleaned up rather nicely. As I say, all things considered, digging it out of the ground. It's got this ribbed kind of texture going around top and bottom, all the way around. And this is the bottom part, where it's the Pepsodent antiseptic. And there's the numbers if you can make those out. Looks like a 9.55. And it is an own Illinois glass company bottle of the merged companies. So this has got to be 1929 up, roughly, as a generous starting point. So there's that one. Show this. I almost wrote this one off because it looked kind of like some just fancy food container. Hell, it might still be, but once I got it home and cleaned it up more, I noticed this lid wasn't a thread top, because I thought this was originally some sort of, cheapy thread top style bottle, but it just had kind of a fancy design with, etc. whatever. But I got it home and cleaned it up, and I realized this is actually more of like I'm not even sure what kind of lid that is. Kind of just popped on and popped off, I guess. Because I don't think that's a big cork. That'd be silly. I mean, God, I guess it could be. But this one almost got wrote off. I'm kind of happy I kept it. Okay, my light adjusted funny again. Let's see. Yeah, when the light above me reflects off the glass and hits the sensor in the phone, it just on my side looking at it, it just causes like a weird dimming on my screen. I'm not sure how well. I don't think it picks up too much on the actual recording, but it bugs me. Just try to ignore it, I guess. Pretty much just that design all the way around. And there's numbers on the side on this bottom piece I've been noticing. Actually, haven't even looked at them yet. These balls are still very new, and hell, they're still drying even, I think. 5656. Whatever that means. I thought there was something on the bottom here. I need to clean this one better as well. In fact, I should have done that as well. Looks like there's something here. I can fill it through all that in 1 second. Yeah, there is more on this. There's a Hazel Atlas emblem and an 8. There it is. I thought there was more on the bottom of this, but this dark color through there and looking through a phone screen and trying to do this is disorienting and weird. It's hard to see it. But yeah, Hazel Atlas and an 8. Or is it an infinity symbol? The infinity loop of our matrix we're living in. So yeah, there's this. That's that. Let's get these knocked out of the way pretty fast because these are pretty simple jars, but they're just amber, real simple amber jars. Not a whole lot going on with these. F8 and 402, and this one does have a chip on out of the bottom of it. I found out after I got home and was cleaning it, but still complete enough to keep. And I like to collect up the ambers even if they're not generally very unique, because they're good for storing things in, you know, keeps the light out and keeps bacteria from, you know, helps reduce spoiling of the contents. So I guess that's why I like them. This a versatile bottle. And it just says contents 4 fluid ounces. That's pretty much that. And I found 2 of them. Contents 4 fluid ounces. Got some glass waves in here. So I suspect these are still fairly old. I'll get to that here in a minute. I actually forgot until just now, but I have a rough dating on these bottles due to a particular one I found. Got some weird pitting there. That's a chip. And some nice waves in there. What? Hang on. Why is the F flipped? Well, that's a little different. The 402 is the same. The 8 and the 3 are different. And the F and the 402 are flipped. Huh. Oh well. Alright, let's get this one out of the way. I'm going to try something here a little bit. See if this, if I adjust this up, I can get a little more. That helps a little bit. Cool. So yeah, there's this slightly, you know, slightly more interesting one than the last 2. I'm not sure what to make of this one. It was completely packed with dirt and junk when I got it. I had to use innovative methods to get all the dirt and stuff out of it. However, I couldn't get a lot of this stuff out due to the nature of the weird shape of the bottle. Container, whatever you want to call it. And there's nothing really to work with on this one. So I'll get to that here in a second. This is a pattern goes all the way around. And the only thing on the bottom of it is it's got this weird kind of like bubbled bottom, and it's causing like this weird magnifying effect. Yeah, but it's got like this, just a 5 on it. So not much to see there. So that's that. All right, let's go to this one. Now sometimes, just to make note of it, I haven't really shown too many of them yet, but there are bottles in my collection where I do keep the original contents and the fluid in them if I find them and they're sealed. And this one is one of those unique cases which I finally have found to show, because the lid is still on this and it's sealed. And the contents have gotten some weird, nasty stuff floating around in it. Something grew inside of there. Some alien life form or something. It's rather nasty. Actually, on that note, I have another one I'm going to show after this one that I found off literally by the Webb Castle wooded area, just up there by the parking lot area, actually, where they added that parking lot. You know, you go down the trees down there and there's, you know, things you can find. Yeah, but the contents in this one, I guess, can't tell if that's the original color. But it has this kind of slightly textured kind of design here. I'm not sure what you would call it. So yeah, that's basically that one with the original contents in it. And there's not not much to really make on the bottom either. Well, there's the Owen Illinois Glass Company logo. Didn't notice that last time. Of course, I found it in the dark and cleaned it in the dark, and it's actually the first time I'm really looking at it in the light. Because I just usually make these pretty hastily and like I do. So there's that one with the original contents in it. And on to the little random bonus slip in that sits by my desk. I found this one off literally in the wooded area by the added parking lot by the Webb Castle. This looks like a full bottle, what I assume is the original contents, because the lid's on it and it's been sealed. And this was a surface find, so I'm not sure how this thing survived winters. How am I even sure how any of these bottles with liquids have survived winters, because anyone that knows that the contents, being water, will freeze in glass, or anything really. The ice will expand and usually breaks the glass, but this thing has survived for, I don't know how many years out there, and has not broke. And now that it's in here, it's obviously not likely to happen anyways, unless some freak accident happens. But this one here has what I'm assuming is the original contents in it. This was found off by the Webb Castle. Oh, that's so weird. Why did it change like that? Got this weird little oily pus bubble looking thing in there now. That's bizarre. Is this thing actively changing and mutating in the glass? This weird slimy stuff in here? Well, that's very bizarre. I don't remember that being in there. I mean, I knew this little floating alien life form was in there. I've never seen these little weird oil separation Wow, that's very bizarre. That's the first time I'm noticing those since I've had this, and I've had this for over about a year now. That is very strange. You know, this is news to me, real-time surprise, because the only thing that was originally in here was this weird thing floating around, but now it's got this weird oil density separation stuff going on. Oh, it's bizarre. I have no idea. But this one's sealed, doesn't leak. Original lid. Somehow managed to survive as good as it has. It's kind of funny how some of these lids hang in there and some of them just piece out. But this one is an older one because it has the oval and an eye. Unless this is 69, from 69. Because I do believe one of these is the date and it looks more like a date. So, I mean, I could be entirely wrong on this emblem. Maybe that they still use it even after they merged or whatever. I don't know. It's kind of a toss-up if these have the date on them or not. Some of them do, some of them don't. But yeah, there's just this one I wanted to show real quick. And, oh, it's so weird. And gross. I don't know what that is in there, but it's definitely unpleasing to look at. Now it's got this weird oily bubble separation and the fluid density there. Separation is natural, as they say, right? Oh, that's so weird. It's like a lava lamp almost. Very, very bizarre. Okay, let's get back on to it. I found this one with the lid, and I took the lid off. You know, obvious reasons. It wasn't savable. And this one doesn't have too much to work with besides, that's really about it. 2.5 ounces. It's still a pretty cool bottle. I actually like these designs. These long slender style balls like this. I'm not sure what you'd call it, but I seem to like these designs. Guess they had that feeling of old look to them, I guess. And this one cleaned up nicely. Had some weird white stuff in it. I couldn't get all of it out. You'll notice some of it's inside there once I spin the bottle around. In fact, I need to go back and clean this one better after this. There's a little bit of rust right here. But yeah, this one cleaned up pretty nicely. I'll get it better after this. This has 2, 4, 9, and a 4. Nothing really else to work with. It's this simple, cool little bottle design. And let's go to this. And this is the only one in my collection of this type of medicine bottle. Because, you know, it's got the medicine measurements on it. It's got kind of like looks like a 1. And I say I only have one of these because this is a capital I don't have any of these in my collection until now. This one was buried pretty decently. And it had an alloy lid on it. Most of the ones I find have plastic. But this one had it was a metal lid. It was steel because it was obviously rusted and corroded and blah blah blah, and I just broke it off because it wasn't savable. It didn't work. I wanted to clean the bottle so it looks better and more, more presentable, etc. More close up of the bottle. But yeah. My only capital. The lady is home, so apologies about noises. Doing myself a bottle video. How exciting, right? I do it for my health. Anyway, joking aside. The only one in my collection. Sweet. Let's go and get this big one out of the way. Found a big blue bottle. Gotta adjust. Oh. It's always neat when I find these cobalt blue bottles. I guess they started using this cobalt blue in the 1900s up, so it's not like the cool 1800s blue or nothing, but that's still wet. As I was saying, it's still drying. Actually, might be this that's wet. Alright. But this is the only cobalt blue bottle of this style that I have in my collection. It's cool to know I'm finding at least different bottles. This one is a Hazel Atlas. Let me try this again. Seems like I need to do that to get this. Yeah, I need to start working on my camera skills there. So this has an 8331 dot, and it's the Hazel Atlas. And it kind of goes into this vaulted style. Guess, I think of a vaulted old world building ceiling when I see that. Kind of vaulted look. Some glass waves in there. Guess that can sort of indicate the bottle's age to a point. This is a fairly decent sized bottle. I'll measure it. You can't see it now. Just a hair over 8 inches. Actually, hang on. There, that works. Line up the best I can with the naked eye. Yeah, that's about it. Hair over 8 inches. It never hurts to actually start moving the camera around more for more of those unique cases where it can be beneficial. Still figuring this out. So there's that. Apologies for the janky camera action going on, because that's going to be a byproduct if I start doing that. I thought I dried this. So yeah, that's basically that bottle. Just a big blue hazel atlas. Man, the camera don't want to focus on this one. It doesn't like these blue bottles very well, I've noticed. Oh well. And I guess I'm going to slip this one in real fast just because it's a little random miscellaneous one. I haven't decided if I wanted to try using this lid. Probably won't be able to because of this. But I have... One second. Anywho. So I haven't decided if I'll be able to use this one or not. Probably won't be able to. This one's probably too far gone. But yeah, it says porcelain on it. I just realized that. How cool. Looks like a zinc one though. Oh fuck, I don't know. Whatever. Alright, let's go on to another random thing I found in the ground as I was digging. I'm not sure what kind of majigger this is. What I do know though, that it is a curved brick, arched brick, kind of arches. It's way more noticeable in person, so hopefully the camera's picking it up. And all it has is 48 on it. I guess the camera's more focused right here. So, and yes, it is a cream tan brick. And it's got an actual bit of rust on there because I guess there was rust in the ground when it touched it right there. When it was sitting in the ground for who knows how long with the rust on it. Yeah, very interesting. It's the only one I have ever seen like this. Got this curve in it. And it kind of... Maybe if I do this, you'll actually be able to see it more. Let me see if I can't carefully pick this up and show it. Yeah, that kind of shows what I'm saying. You can see it's curved. And it does this action right here. Oh no, sneak peek of the other stuff. Let's go this way. Let me try this. You can see it's just a oddly shaped brick, slightly arched. And you can see under the piece there, kind of wish I had a flashlight now, you'd be able to see under that. Actually, one moment. I can fix that real quick. Get my old favorite handy dandy trusty broken Phoenix HM65 RT. Hands down the best headlamp in the world. I don't care. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. This thing is bulletproof. Random off the cuff tangent about this flashlight. This thing has been through literal fucking hell and still works. I've had it for like 4 years now. I've even had a flustered moment where I have gotten mad and tossed it and it bounced off the basement floor, completely chipped out this magnesium frame. Somehow it didn't break. You just see all the damage on this thing. Just nicks and dents everywhere. 4 years old, still the original battery. Just chips and dents and damage everywhere. It outlived the headband. Like literally outlived the headband. It's just all beat up, and I used it working on cars, doing other various things, camping. Just whatever I needed a light for, this thing was used for, and it still works great. It's still on the original battery. I haven't had to change the battery yet either. You'd think after all the abuse this thing's been through, the battery probably should have taken a shit by now, but it's got the original Phoenix battery in it. It's amazing. This is hands down the best flashlight headlamp ever. I don't know why they stopped making this particular one with the orange pill lens and this style stuff going on. They changed it. It's now the Phoenix HM65RDT, and they separated the models to two different lights. Now that I'm on a little spree of flashlights. 1 second. I'm not sure if anyone's been curious about what I use for headlamps when I'm out doing my little nighttime spelunkings, but I do use the Phoenix brand. It's my main go-to because I've had nothing but amazing success with these headlamps, flashlights in general. My other one's on my rifle, so I don't want to take that one off. So, as I use it as my rifle light too. So, but this is the model they switched to. They switched to the HM65RT version 2. In fact, I was using this out there when I was finding these bottles, and it's dirty still because I haven't cleaned it. But they changed it from this. As you can see, the different bezels and lens technology in them, to this. And these are glass. This is glass. At least in this one, this is glass. I think this is plastic. But this bezel has glass in it. And brass of some sort. I think it's brass. Absolutely the best headlamp ever. If you can find one of these used anywhere, I highly recommend getting it. You will not be disappointed. Then they switched to this one, which I still don't like. They switched the lens reflectors, the light, LED reflectors in there. I think this is now just a big piece of plastic, so it scratches easily. And it's based. Ooh, this needs to be charged. I didn't realize it was that low on battery. I do use this a lot when I'm not looking for bottles for hours on end. And I don't like the new headband style either. I don't like this ratchet thing here. People can suck it off all they want. I don't care for it. This was already the perfect headlamp. Phoenix, for the love of God, if someone watches and refers you to this video, for the love of God, bring this thing back with this style reflectors and bezels, all this. Bring this whole thing back. You can still call it the DT. I don't give a shit. Just bring this one back. Because I noticed on the DT, it still has these stupid changes. I mean, it looks like this one, but they took this style lens off. They still changed it. This was perfect. Virtually perfect. Don't listen to your customers all the time, because the customers don't always know what they want. And apparently you changed it because the customers were complaining and whining about stuff, I'm sure. And like, oh, okay, we'll bend to the knee because, you got to keep your customers happy, blah, blah, blah. But this thing was already perfect. If anyone was complaining about this, you should have just told them to shut the fuck up. This headlamp was already perfect. It did not need to be changed. I mean, I guess granted you could have changed this LED to a more neutral light. Because the only thing I like about this one is the floodlight is a lot more neutral and warm, which I like. And this one gives off a slightly cool color. Let's see if we can demonstrate that. As you can see, it's kind of got that cool color to it. And this one here has, granted the battery life is low, so who knows if it's going to want to work properly. This has a more natural, more, light that our eyes adjust to, like, sunlight. The only thing they did with this light, the only thing I like about this is the fact I like the neutral white, the warm light. That is it. It's the only thing they did that makes me like that. Other than that, I can't stand it. It has way too many options now. You have to click the buttons like 5 times, cycle through your settings, and it's so dumb. This was, you just click it on, hold it, click it there, back down to power saver. So 3 clicks, and then hold to turn off. Then you got your spotlight, which you turn on, click it 3 times, 2, 3, turn off. Absolutely perfect. Simple. Why'd they ever change it? Why did they change it? So disappointing. I'm gonna have to make a whole video about this, and hopefully Phoenix will bring back this particular style back, because this... Hop on the wagon, people. If you watch this, for the love of God, please help me out here. They need to bring this exact model back, because this flashlight was perfect. If you were ever on the fence of which headlamp to get, well, by golly, it would be this one. They need to make this one again, with the addition of switching this to a warmer neutral light. That's about the only thing I can say that they can change on this one. It'd be fine. It'd be fine. But no. They had to change it to this. They cheaped out on some of the material. You pay more for it. And, yeah. I don't even think the battery's the same. I think they changed the battery too. I think their one's a 3500 and this is a 34. If I remember correctly. Yeah. I know, what a completely fucking random ass little thing to go off onto here. Yeah, they even changed the battery so you get worse battery life. I know it's, not groundbreaking differences, but you still get more life out of this. Milliamp hours. Jeez. What the hell are you thinking, Phoenix? This has now become a hand light. It's so damn bulletproof and has survived so much abuse. It's now a hand light. It's like one of my main hand lights. I hold it in my hand and use it when I do stuff. It's amazing. And it's still going. Still ticking. Still working. After all the abuse for 4 years. Hiking, camping, working on cars, doing automotive work. Throwing it, hitting it on stuff, bumping into things with it. Still works perfectly. Besides, it doesn't have the headband anymore. And all the buttons still have their nice tactile clicks. Probably can't hear them. But the battery life indicator still works. It's only 1 bar down after using it rather extensively, because I used this at South Oak Park that night. The last time I was out there, I was using it as a hand light where applicable, and then I switched to the headlamp when I needed my hands free. And this one's batteries always seem to last longer than the new one. And that battery's been abused just as much as a headlamp. And usually batteries start degrading, start degrading it after they take a lot of shock and abuse. But not that one. Still going. After I, admittedly had my hissy fit moments wearing it and throwing it around and abusing it and everything else, it still works. Anyway, back onto this. Apologies for the completely silly randomness of the flashlights. I guess I should use this one because this one will actually stand up back here. No, let me show the light under there. Use my crappy new one for this. Oh, I'm blinding myself. As you can see, the light goes under that little arch there. So now you can see without a doubt it's arched on the bottom, as if I needed to prove that, but for completeness sake, in my brain I had to. Which led off into a flashlight tangent. Oh well. At least you know what headlamps to get. Oh wait, they don't make it anymore, because they're stupid. They listened to the customers and fucked it up. Pardon my French. Oh, my eyeballs. Okay. 1 second. Not sure how well this is going to work, but I'm going to try it anyways. Really, really silly here. Hang on. There's my hand light that I usually have in my hand, and it is... Extreme apologies here, I'm being completely random now. It's the Phoenix PD36R, and yes, I did buy... And I did buy the... Oh, hang on. I did buy the little Phoenix adapter thing because I didn't want to have to buy a whole new flashlight to use as a real light. So this is my belt light and my gun light, because this little adapter made that possible. I happened to buy a whole new flashlight with a switch and blah blah blah. So, and it's a Phoenix. So if you ever want a hand light, oh wait, they don't make this one anymore either, because they had to upgrade it and ruin it like they do all their good flashlights. What? Why? Yeah, FYI, they don't make this one either, and this one's been extremely bulletproof as well. It's an amazing flashlight. Oh, golly. That's on full kill, my bad. But it's got that setting. It just turns up, and yeah, I usually have it on full kill because when you have your gun light, a rail light on your rifle or whatever, or even your handgun, you typically want to have it on full kill so you can stun and blind the person. Or you could just put it on strobe. But that's another story. So yeah, there's a hand light. They don't even make this one anymore. And it's been through hell too for the last 4 years on the original battery. All dinged up and chipped up and messed up. It's been through hell. Hell, it's missing the dust cover. See how messed up this one is. It's all beat up and been dropped. It's all mangled. Not mangled, I'm being a little extreme there, but you can see it's been through hell. In fact, I need to clean the dirt off the grooves in there. And the dust cover was taken off by me because it was junk. It just never stayed in there. It was about the only complaint I had with this flashlight was that dust cover. But it's waterproof anyway. I've tested it, so I don't need it. I've submerged this flashlight in water and left it turned on with that dust cover ripped off, and it still works fine. Because I waterproofed the charger port as well, so. This thing's all sorts of messed up as well. Dirty and beat up. But the clicker on this thing is still really strong. You hear a nice strong click. And that's after roughly 4 years of use. Okay, well, enough of that rifle light there. Just put that up off to the side. Like anyone needs to see that. Probably don't care. The black rifle of death. I don't care. Where I live, I kind of need it. I mean, this day and age, you'd be a retard not to have a way to protect your family. So let's just get that out of the way right now. That's what that's for. It's protection. And, going to the range and shooting. having fun. But yeah, there's this brick. Not sure how the hell that got so off track, but it happens. There's that. And this is another just unique oddball brick in my collection. I don't think these are quite curved like the one Ross is trying to find, but I know he's been trying to find a curved brick, but these aren't quite as curved as the ones he's wanting. So anyway, that's the only stamp on it. It's 48. Some weird rust on these, I think. Actually, I wonder if that's a part of the brick. Huh. Actually, I think that might just be in the mix of the brick. Possibly. Oh look, it's got that tan, gritty, coarse mixture. Woohoo! Anyway, enough of that. Let's get back on track. Utmost apologies. Alright. Now everything's all goobered up and messed up and weird. I can lower this. That transitioned pretty nicely. Okie dokie. And I guess I'll get to the reason as to why I think these bottles are from a certain time period, which I have come to the conclusion is 1937. All because this one jar. You wouldn't even believe what this jar is. How I come to this amazing conclusion. I know I'm going to magically fix it and abracadabra it and all that jazz. Actually, it's just to get the smudges off, usually. In case, yeah. But this is a Wright's mayonnaise product. It's got a 3/08. But this bottle actually has 1937 embossed on it. I'd have to wager that would indicate that this bottle is from 1937. Now I'd have to say that holds true because most of these bottles appear to be around that time period, if not older. I don't think this is one of those, oh, this was made since 1937, blah, blah, blah. That usually says, oh, a company started in 1800s, proudly, blah, blah, blah. But no, this bottle actually has a date on it. 1937. So these bottles I've been finding are roughly around that time period. And some might even be older and got tossed out later. Who knows? So yeah, whoever thought a mayonnaise jar would have given me my date on some of these bottles I've been finding in this location. But who's also to say that this bottle is originally tossed with some of these older bottles. Some of these older ones. Because usually these older medicine bottles are from the 20s and 30s. Generally. I've noticed. Looking up those medicine bottles in the past. But yeah. Mayonnaise jar to save the day. Oh no. May 2040. Hang on. Archaics is right. Mayday, Mayday. Sorry, probably won't get what I'm saying there at all. May 2040 to 2046, apparently. The Phoenix. Anyways, enough of that. That's why I think those balls are from around roughly 1937. And let's get on to this one. I like finding these ones here, these slender, old worldy looking bottles. And this is another supposed laxative medicine bottle, I guess. Castoria, castor oil. I guess it helps people poo, I guess. I need to clean my spectacles here. But yeah, Castoria. I like how they said that. Has a nice little sound to it. Instead of this plain ass castor oil, it's Castoria. Even the wording was fancy in those days. Now you just get castor oil. That sounds so cool, doesn't it? Castor oil. It's got the name of it right here. It's all sorts of fancy and weird. I'm sure you can read. Knock yourself out. I'll hold it there. Oh, let's see if I can't get that staged up better. Alright, that should be good right there. This is obviously an older bottle. I have another one of these down in my collection. In fact, it's right in here. I think it's in here. Nope. Maybe it's in this one. 1 second. Castor oil. I think it's right here, actually. Yeah, it's Castoria. In fact, I think this one's older. Maybe. Let's see. Oh no, it's one of my oldest bottles in my collection. How cool. I have like 3 bottles I can prove are from 1800s, and this is one of them. Wish I could find more bottles like this. Is what it is. Okay, let's see what the differences are with these. Now that I got 2 for comparison. Oh well, that's pretty strange. Okay, so this one's found out here, essentially, roughly, we'll just say Rock Creek in my neighborhood, just because I'm not going to give my exact location. I can't stand that gritty sound of glass on there. It's like nails on a chalkboard. And this one was found off in Round Grove Creek, up roughly by the Chiefs Stadium. Why not have a little bit of a fun with these, I guess. Yeah, they seem to be about the same length. Yeah, they're roughly the same length. This has a more aqua blue in the color. This has a clear color in it. I do believe that this color can indicate this one's probably older. Because I guess during the glass manufacturing, sometimes it's hard to get those colors out, so they just left them in there, I guess. And clear glass became the norm, and once they perfected their glass making. Well, no, this one has like a cork top style. This one's got threads. I guess this one's probably older. Actually, this one's older. This has got the bubble imperfections in the glass. It's got this part. Yeah, I think this one's actually older. Yeah, this one's older. Correction. Because this style here indicates me that's older, and because this threads thread style became more common later on. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. My apologies. This one's got to be newer. This one's got to be older just by the imperfections in the making of the bottle. I guess the older the bottles, generally they have more rough moldings on them like this. More imperfection on the casting, I guess. And this one is actually like a cork, little miniature cork top. Okay, well, guess that's done. My old bottles. Actually, it doesn't go in there. Put that somewhere else. Slides back under the table. Yeah, I found this broken bottle somewhere. I don't remember where, but it has this very interesting PL with a shield and a trident on it. I guess that's a trident. It's only got 1 point on it though, and these weird little other things. It's not a trident, it's not a bident, it's just a more like a spear really. Trident? Yeah, trident I guess, whatever. But I kept this bottom piece, because normally I will keep unique bottoms like this with embossings if I'm not familiar with them. So whatever this went to. Yeah. Back to the bottles. Apologies again. I was really trying to make this a short video, but I found a way to drag it out by accident. God. Insufferable. Anyway. So yeah, this is just a bottle that helps people poo, I guess. It's a laxative bottle. Castoria. And again, just one more time. Almost looks like a hand drawn on 3. Because sometimes I guess I used to do that by hand on some older bottles. So I guess that's the glass maker, whatever that one is. Circle with a P. And US of A with a 3. And that's that one. And on to this one. This one's still wet, clearly. Inside you can still see the water in there. Got the water still. This one was dug out of the ground, like most of these. 7.9.5, own Illinois Glass Company. And this one is just right here. The FN Fitches Co. Yeah, I gotta guess. The FN Fitches. Fitch Co. Oh, Fitches. I have another bottle that has Fitches on it. Sorry, I was confusing those two. That's just the FN Fitch Co. With a really extreme fancy O at the end there. Have yet to look this one up. I would imagine it's some sort of hair tonic or something bottle. It's got a very small drop style mouthpiece there. And yeah, that's that bottle. 4 ounce. Nothing else on there. And yeah, that's that one. On to the last one finally. It's amazing. This one's kind of cool. It's the only one in my collection. Pinex. Pinex. However you want to pronounce it. I'm sure there's probably different ways of saying that. And this one only has one bit of damage on it. And this is I guess is an older-ish bottle because it's got the blue in it still. It's actually a really cool color bottle. It's clear when it wants to be and pops with blue in other angles. I do like this one a lot. They got that kind of dimension to them, color dimension going on. Crystal-y glass optic color thing going on there. It looks a lot better in person, needless to say. Yeah, it's just really cool. I like that color transition. Yeah, it doesn't want to pick it up too well at that angle. Again, it looks way better in person. Actually, it seems like likes to pop more down here. Now I could even do this real quick. Maybe if I can get a white surface there to eliminate anything that could be causing it to not want to. You know, because glass will reflect other colors in their surrounding, so this will eliminate that, at least from this little mat I've been using. And this just has the Own Illinois Glass Company on it. Alright, man, I'll tell you what. Almost done finally. Yeah, randomly again, if it's not obvious, I take my gear and my stuff I use like this very seriously. I'm really passionate about this stuff. You know, all the joking you can take and put it aside. I do really take this stuff seriously, and I do really like this headlamp. And I wish they didn't stop making it, as well as the hand light that's on my being used as a rifle light right now. I wish they still made these models exactly the way they are, with the exception of maybe changing that LED to that warmer light color. Other than that, yeah, I'm passionate about that stuff. I'm a gear nut, a gear nerd. I love that stuff. Knives, guns, flashlights, camping stuff, preparedness stuff, all that stuff. Been doing all that stuff for over 15 years now. I've been pretty balls deep in that stuff. I mean, lately I haven't really been getting into it too much, but I've kind of slowed down on a lot of it. But I've got good stuff. I don't know what else you need once you get solid stuff. No time wasting money on experimenting with things when you already have things you know that work. You know, cut the fat off. Because that's what I try to do. Like, I try to get things good enough to where I don't have to spend a bunch of money experimenting. I just do my research, do my my due diligence, find good stuff, buy it, and it's like, yes, it's exactly what I wanted it to be. Everything I wanted it to be. You take a gamble at first, but you do your best before you purchase things. And well, thankfully, I did my time on all that, and I'll save you the time. If you want a good flashlight, just get a Phoenix. Don't get one of those stupid old lights with their probably stupid chargers or the overly priced fucking USA made Surefires, which battery life probably lasts like 10 minutes in those piece of shit things. Yeah, they're probably built like a tank, but the battery life sucks in those things. You know, because I do base a lot of my purchasing decisions when it comes to flashlights off of the estimated cherry-picked flashlight battery life. You know, because they always do those in the most optimal, pick the most optimal, best outcomes and then advertise it as such. For anyone that knows how flashlights and those schematics go, stat sheets go. But either which way, I've had great success with the Phoenixes, so they've been solid, they've been bulletproof. Whatever. Back onto this. Sorry. So there's this one. And I guess I will probably be done with showing this one because that's really all there is. So yeah, this is just the random spot of bottles. Well, hang on, let me rephrase that. So there's now, I now have a spot I could look for bottles in my neighborhood without having to drive all the way to South Oak Park. Bit of a stretch, but at least it's a start, because I was hoping to find a spot I can dig around out here, not have to keep making all these ridiculous drives to go do it, because I don't like to drive that much for my own reasons. And yeah, if I can find more spots around here, which has, as of yesterday, has been so far looking promising, I hopefully will find more bottles out here, because I'm going to look around areas I have not looked yet. And so far it's been promising, because again, I keep finding these old bottles around my neighborhood. So it's like, what more do you want for nothing? You know, just finding these old bottles. You know, eventually I'll find more. Hopefully I'll find more vintagey. I want to start finding more antique bottles, like provably 100 plus years old, of course. That doesn't seem to happen very easily. So, you know, if I can just at least find stuff like this, I'm pretty happy, generally. So, I guess I will be that. And sorry for the completely off-the-wall distractions and etc. But now I can find stuff like this by my neighborhood, so I can just literally walk there in a couple minutes and start going to town on the ground. Didn't sound right. I know, right? I say stuff like that on purpose most of the time to be funny, but yeah, at least I have a spot to start looking around here, and that's good enough for me, because so far I'm happy with what I managed to find in such a short time for the first time excavating it. And there's still many more areas, quite a bit of expansive areas to look through, but I have to probably wait for the overgrow to cut back, because it is in a wooded area with no foot traffic, so it's a pain in the ass to look for stuff like that, as anyone that knows that does this knows. Apologies. But yeah. So really, I guess I'll end it there and stop rambling, because I tend to do that a lot, because I really suck at doing this stuff. I'll be the first one to tell you that. I suck at talking to myself in a phone and try to do these recordings. It's probably the reason why I never did it until recently. But yeah, I guess with that, I'll end it there. And if I find any more interesting stuff, I guess I will show it and whatnot. So hopefully, if anyone that watches made it all the way through, hope you enjoyed. Not sure what else to say. I mean, these are just kind of my random videos I do for myself, and I just share them with you viewers. So I don't expect anyone to watch these, but I'm still sharing them and uploading them anyways, just because it's something for me to do. And I'm sure someone might take something from this random zany videos I do, because I'm a very, type of person I am. But anyways, I'm gonna leave it there and stop rambling. Apologies. Until next time.